Hello everybody, welcome to another video and Scales and Feathers update, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make the creatures step by step and like my whole process and everything, but I won't be making a full in-depth tutorial yet. I will be making a full in-depth tutorial sometime in the future, but not yet because I'm too lazy right now. So I'll make one in the future though. So keep your eye out for that. And yeah, so I start off with the creature design with like a drawing of it, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm sorry, but you won't be able to see that. It's basically just a small drawing of the creature before I start modeling it, so I know what it looks like and everything and how many toes it has. Just like the simple things. But so yeah, I make one of those and then I start modeling the creature, which is happening right now. And I'll just talk about how I modeled the creature and then we can get into the other stuff on making the creature. This is also about everything you have to know about making the creature, like everything I do to make the creature, not just modeling it and rigging it and stuff. This is like the whole thing. So this creature has two heads, which is the first time I've ever made a creature with two heads. So it was gonna be a little bit harder than I usually, make creatures and stuff, because two heads, two necks, there's a lot in the way. Sorry if I sound like I'm dying. I just woke up, so I probably don't sound the nicest. So sorry about that. Hopefully later on in the recording of the audio, my voice will get a little less dying. But yeah, for now, this is just how my voice is gonna sound for the duration of this video. Here I'm trying to figure out how I can fit both the necks on, and I've decided I'll just tilt them a little bit. And then I duplicate the legs, and then I usually have to adjust the feet a little bit because they're usually touching. And I don't want the feet to touch because it doesn't look right. So then I'm working on the eye in the middle, which didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to, but it was good enough. And I really liked the tail that I did, but because I wasn't looking at the drawing I made for reference, I kind of messed up the tail tip, and then I had to go back and fix it. This tail tip was so much trouble for me. Like, Roblox has this really weird, like, not weird, but like when you turn things in Roblox, they're never right, and then you have to keep on adjusting it and everything, and it's just really annoying. Like, look at this. And then I had to get rid of this and remake the tail tip after all. So here you can see me trying to remake the tail tip. And yeah, it wasn't the most fun. And then it has problems later on with animation and stuff because the tail tip's gonna be turning in different ways than the rest of the body. It's just all confusing. So I don't really like to mess with that kind of stuff a lot. But the tail tip, it needed to be made. It is a good addition to the creature. One of its more unique defining features, since it's really not all that interesting of a creature design. But yeah, here I'm working on the fins, which were originally supposed to be ears, but then I realized how much like a shark this guy looks. So I was like, hey, that's perfect. I'll just make them fins. So that's what I did. I made them fins. So I had a lot of trouble with placing the fins as well to make them exactly the same, which I realized I probably should have just had one head and then done everything I needed on that one head and then duplicated that head over after I was already done with everything, instead of doing everything after I already have two heads that are slightly rotated. But yeah, other than that, just did little touch-ups and stuff and then started working on coloring the creature a little bit more. Then we got into rigging, which is probably one of the things I like the least, while making creatures because it's really, you just connect the things and then you move the dots into the correct place. And then if something messes up, you spend the next like 2 hours trying to find out what happened. And then eventually you just have to re-rig the whole thing because the whole rig broke. And it's just aggravating. Aggravating at the least, destructive to the mind at the most. So, yeah, I really hate rigging. I really hate rigging when something goes wrong, at least. Like, rigging's okay if nothing goes wrong, but if something goes wrong, then the rigging just sucks. On this model, surprisingly, this is the first model I've ever made where something didn't go wrong and I didn't have to go back and fix it. So I am so relieved for that. And yeah, I was very relieved. You didn't get to see, but I modeled the mouth off camera because it was just modeling mouths are really tedious and stuff. But yeah, so I modeled the mouth off camera, and then oh wait, no, something did happen with the rig that messed up, and I had to go back and fix it. I'm not sure if I recorded it, but the no, I didn't record it, but the tail tip messed up. And I had to remove it and separate it and do all weird things to it and stuff. Oh, and to even begin rigging, you have to select each individual part of your creature and name it something unique, and then you can start rigging. So yeah, that's also very annoying, and I don't like going through my creature and having to name every single tooth piece in it. So yeah. Okay, now this is a little bit of a time skip, because I finished all the animation and now I'm working on all the stats and everything. So I changed the health in the humanoid. I'll change the hip height later, but then I go into their stats and I start fixing everything and changing everything to how it's supposed to be. And because I already finished the animations, you'll just see me importing the animations in here and pasting them in. So yeah, you'll be able to see these animations at the end of the video, but this is just how I import them all in and get them all, in the creature so they move. Sorry if you hear that squeaking, because that is my chair, and it is the loudest thing ever. Do you hear that? I'm so sorry about that. Um, Hopefully I can just stop making it squeak for a minute while I'm recording. But yeah. So then I size it down to make the juvenile and child version of it. And then I go into the creature and make the parts invisible that I want to be invisible while they're baby and juvenile to make it look less like an adult. So like the back teeth, the tail tip and the stripes I made invisible for the baby, and then I slowly brought them back with the juvenile. And then I'm making the stats for the juvenile here. I'm basically just taking all the stats from the adult and lowering them, and then that's the same for the child. I'm taking all the stats and then lowering them a little bit to, make the child weaker than the adult. And then you saw I made a smaller one. That's the statue, and that was a very important part. Here I'm making the bleed and weight. Um, so yeah, I have to go in and change that. And then I'm making the description. I'll try and up the quality on this video so you guys can read what I'm typing. But if you don't feel like reading what I'm typing, you could just play the game. It'll be in the description, and you'll be able to see you'll be able to see it all there. And then here I'm adding this new creature model to our line of creatures that are currently in the game. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. And then I put these guys into a folder, and I put them into the creature folder, which will make them playable. And I renamed the folder to the creature name, which is the Shardu. And then here I'm making sure the creature thing is working correctly while I add in the new creature thing. You can see I add in it and I rename it to Shardu. And then here goes the testing phase, which is a lot of bugs and a lot of fixing. And as you can see, as soon as I spawn in, I have to go through all the script and see what broke. And the entire creature wasn't playable because the statue's S at the start of its name wasn't a capital letter. So little tiny spelling mistakes can break the entire creature. So yeah, I had to go back and fix that, and then it was playable. So I went in and I was trying to find out if it was colorable, and it was kind of colorable. There were some bugs, so I went in and I fixed all the bugs and everything, and to make it colorable again. So here I'm moving the feet down so they don't start glitching out. And then I realized that the tail tip isn't working, so I have to go in and fix the tail tip on all of them so that the tail tip can be colored. And then I test everything, make sure the mouth is all colorable, and then I spawn in and I start sliding around like crazy, so I go back in and I have to turn everybody onto Can't Collide off so they can't touch anything. And then I'm running around and I realize I forgot to set the hip height, and so I had to go back and set the hip height. And at this point, I think it was 7 in the morning. I was still working on this until like 7 in the morning. So I was so tired, but I had to get this done. So, you know. So I was fixing the hip height of all the creatures and everything, and I put them back, and I started playing again. And, yeah, I'm running around. The hip height's still not perfect, so I'll have to go back and fix it again. But I'm testing all the animations, making sure it's all working. I didn't really like the run animation all that much, so I'll go back later and fix the run animation. So then, yeah, I fiddle around with the hip height until it's perfect. Then I write it down, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to find my notes pad, and then yeah, I just start testing out the animation while my hip height is the correct height. Test out the E animation, the AoE, start running around some more. And this is when I realized that this creature is actually way too fast. So I'll go back and fix the speed and everything. Here's me finding out the hip height for the baby, so I can write that down, and then me finding out the hip height for the juvenile, so I can write that down. And then I go back and I bring all the creatures out. Oh, yeah, and I bring all the creatures out and fix the hip height. Sorry, I thought I was doing something else. Fix the speed for everybody because the creature was way too fast. And yeah, after I'm done fixing everything, I go back into the game, make sure it's all good, and once I find out it's all good, then I will menu again, and I'll menu again, and I'll bring this creature over, and then I'll fix the run cycle. I didn't record animating the, well, I just didn't record animating at all because it took multiple days to finish all the animation. So yeah, I didn't think I wanted to edit an entire like 2 days full of animation. And then I fixed it a little bit, and then I added it into all their things, and then I went back and I tested it out, and I thought, this is pretty good. I think that here with the animations and model and everything, it probably looks a lot better in game with higher graphics because than in the little test area in Roblox Studio, because the little test area in Roblox Studio, the graphics quality is so low. So yeah, this is what it would actually look like if you played as the creature in the game with that much graphics. You can of course put it higher because this game doesn't really take a lot of power, but I have a really old computer that doesn't work very well. So I'll show you guys all of the animations. This is the run animation. It's not the best. I think his front legs should be a little bit thicker, but not really anything I can do about that now. This is the idle animation. Not really much to it. His head bobs a little bit and his eye rotates a little bit, but not that much to it. This is the walk animation. Not not that much to it either. This is the rest animation. One of his heads is asleep while the other one's awake. Kind of covering up his eyes so you probably can't really see anything. I'd like it to be day so I can see, please. Please. There we go. Okay. So yeah, he can run around. This is his attack animation. Just this side biting. His AoE animation is this side biting, and then his roar animation. His tail goes so fast. Yeah, just a little roar. And then his eating and drinking animations are different because I think this head drinks and this head eats when you're playing. So here, we'll be able to find out if I go over to the water. They're the exact same for both. As you can see, that's the drinking head. Oh, there's a tiny thing attacking me. Can I grab you? Oh, well, there he goes, but that was that head eating. So yeah, that's the drink and eat animations. This is the swim animation. Not that, not that, like, fast in water. He does have quite a bit of oxygen, so he actually can swim quite a bit in the water, but he's not that fast, and it's not really worth it if you ask me. He is currently the strongest creature in the game. He is the also the biggest creature in the game. 'Cause if you compare like any other creature next to him, it's very small. As a baby, he is the size of a starter creature, not a murder. As a baby, he is the size of a starter creature. So here, this is what the size of an adult starter creature is. And yeah, he's the size of that when he's a baby. So he's pretty small. Oh, I just realized something. I gotta go back and fix the health. Oh well. Well, yeah, that is all for right now. Um, this creature is currently playable. It's 1,000 amber, and you can go into the game by clicking on the link in the description. I won't be able to make an Easter creature for an Easter event in time, not day. Grow. I don't know why I keep on doing /day. Anyways, I won't be able to make a Easter creature in time, but there'll be another flying creature. Hopefully, will be out soon. Which is because that's the next thing I'm gonna be working on the game. Not sure when it's gonna come out. Probably not soon, but it'll be out sometime. So it'll be out eventually. This creature took a pretty long time to make, and a pretty long time to get the motivation to start making it. So we'll see when I'll start on that flying creature. So yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Go ahead and check out the game in the description. And yeah.